about 2 months into our boy's first year of school, we got a phone call from his teacher. Which inspired the song. Lately I've been thinking about what motivates me to give a couple dollars to a stranger on the street, to hold the door, carry groceries, help a neighbor in need. When history repeats itself in headlines every day, solutions never big enough for problems that we face. As a man, as a dad, what difference can I make? Cause I know better than to think I'll be remembered for a favor or a quarter or a smile. Oh, but maybe before I return to sender, I can do one thing worthwhile. So I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to raise a kind child. Sure would help if our boy went and got an MBA and took care of his artist mom and dad in their old age. But let's face it, Wall Street probably isn't in his DNA. But when his first grade teacher said she wanted us to know, it's Jude who always comforts any kid who sits alone. There's just so much pride my heart can take. My retirement can wait. Cause I know better than to think I'll be remembered for a fortune or a pension or a prize. Oh, but maybe before I return to sender, I'll have done one thing worthwhile. So I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to raise a kind child. I don't want him to think the world is his to save. That's too much pressure anyway, it can't be done. I don't want him to think he has to be a saint, 'cause the truth is, saints don't have any fun. Mostly I just hope my boy, he'll come to understand. No 401k or GPA can make a happy man. It's having roots, doing good, helping out where you can. So put down roots, do some good, take somebody's hand. And you'll know better than most what really matters, what makes living this life worthwhile. And there may come a day your own kids will remember how their granddad used to say with a smile that he raised. We raised a kind child.
Good morning, Unity Spokane. How are we today?
Good.
I'm glad about that video so that I could kind of try to distance my heart a little bit. Because I sometimes wonder.
You're not on.
You're
not on. Is it green?
It is now.
Okay, good.
Sorry about that.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay. Yeah, sometimes I wonder if despite my best efforts, my kids have grown up the way they are, as we don't always have the right solutions or the right answers for anything. Anyways, welcome to Unity Spiritual Center Spokane. I'm Jeff Tawney. I'll be your platform assistant this morning. As always, we start our morning off with our affirmation. Or not our affirmation, but we're here as our mission statement to transform lives and inspire people to make a positive difference in our world. And part of that positive difference is raising kind children. As always, we want to begin our time together with our affirmation. I will say it once and then I'll ask you to join me. There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God the good. Together, there is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God the good. This is Unity's foundation principle. One presence, one power, one life, living through and as each one of us. This morning we are blessed to hear from our transformational speaker, Dietz. And she's going to be talking about how darkness helps our light shine brighter. And I just love how Spirit has been preparing us all week for this with the sunshine that we've had, right? Just before we go back to winter trying to merge its cold presence this week. But we're excited about Catherine's talk today, and she'll also be leading our meditation. Before we go any further, bring up Amber for our news you can use.
Is it on? Yes, it is. Good morning, everybody. Some news you can use. So we've got a lot going on. It's either kind of like not much, or all of a sudden there's tons of things to talk about. So just bear with me. First up, as always, please sign up for our e-newsletter. That way you can get all the information I say up here and then some. You'll get more details, how to sign up, all of those things. You can scan the QR code to just enter your name and email, or you can come see me after services and I can sign you up. So please do that. You'll get an email every Wednesday morning, ideally, that kind of shares everything that's coming up. Okay, and then next we've got a bookstore sale. So Jane Giesel and Ann Howard were so amazing to go through our used books and kind of set them out just as you exit. Those are all used books from our bookstore. And they're 50 cents a piece, or 3 for $1. You can't beat that. So I highly recommend you browse those used books after services today. That sale will be going on until March 6th. That will be when it ends. And then we'll probably donate those books. So please take a look at those. There is a cash box where you can put your the money, or you can come see me because I also have you pay with credit card or debit card or whatever. Also, for new books, we are doing buy one, get one free. So all the new books are actually in the bookstore in that white shelf. So please browse over there. You kind of have to make a trek, but it is open area now. So go ahead and look at those new books. Buy one, get one free. And there's lots of good ones to choose from. Okay, Uniteen Fun Day is tomorrow. Tomorrow is President's Day. So it's a day off. So from 1 to 4, the youth ministry is having a Uniteen Fun Day. And so that is for 5th to 8th graders. Is that right, Joan? 8th? Yes. 5th to 8th graders can come here. They're going to do a global peace art project. They'll have board games, card games, and just lots of learning, teaching, and having fun. So Uniteens, please join us and bring a friend or two. Okay, next, save the date for a living room Zoom conversation brought to you by our Connections team. That will be Wednesday, March 2nd from 7 to 8. And it's a Zoom conversation. Please sign up through you don't have to sign up. You can actually just come through and attend. I will have the Zoom link available for this next couple of e-newsletters, so you'll see it in there. But you can also sign up for it so that we kind of know the numbers that will be attending. But it'll be a fun kind of conversation about unity, prayer, meditation, that type of thing, spiritual practices, I believe. So stay tuned for more information about that, and we hope to see you there. Annual meeting is coming up this next Sunday, and Joan will be talking more about that in her board update. But please, if you can, attend 11:30 next Sunday, either right after services here in person, or you can live stream it, or you can hop on Zoom. You've got lots of options. Okay, next, Heart. This is the second to last week that Heart will have the box back here. It is the homeless education and resource team that we are giving gift cards to for the homeless youth and their families in our Spokane area. So please talk to anyone who's back there today, the Compassion and Action team, more about it, and you can leave your donations, your gift cards there. Make sure to write the amount on there so that they know what they have to spend at area stores, fast food restaurants, Subway, that type of place. Okay, and now one more thing. We've got Jeff to talk about his upcoming discussion group.
Thank you, Amber. Many people have asked me about my transformation from being the evangelical, right-wing, ultra-conservative individual to being who I am, how I've migrated today. And I would say that probably the biggest factor in all of that change was Richard Rohr's daily meditations. He has a program called, Foundation Centers for Action and Contemplation, and he has a daily meditation that he sends out. And part of that daily meditation, he has themes and they build on one another. Basically, this year's theme is God as relationship with ourselves, with each other, and the earth, through the theme of nothing stands alone. And I can't tell you enough. Ron, Kurtz and I have discussions. Julie and I have had discussions. How many other people here actually follow Richard Rohr? Amber? Okay, well, just a couple. But anyways, it's probably one of the biggest things that's had an impact on my life. And so what we're going to do is we're going to have a weekly Zoom, and we're going to talk about the previous week's meditations. And primarily just what spoke to you. What did you get out of that previous week's? And we'll be doing it on Tuesdays from 6:30. We'll do like a 1-hour Zoom call. Everybody have an opportunity to participate if you wish, or if you just want to sit and listen, you can do that too. But anyways, if you're interested, send an email, click on the link to sign up. It'll send me an email, and then I'll reach out to you and get you signed up. Okay, now Joan is coming up to do our board update.
Good morning. Nice to see you. Good morning. Now you can hear me. It's nice to see all of you and all of you who are watching at home. I just wanted to share with you first kind of what the board has been focusing on this month. It's probably rather obvious. We've had our usual 2 or 3 conversations about COVID and our restrictions and when we can let go of them. And I did want to announce that the one decision we made this month was that we would loosen our live vocal requirement for one person, for a soloist who stands back on the stage, that they would not need to be masked. And if people who aren't comfortable with that should not sit near the front. So we also, of course, have been dealing with the flood and all of its wonderful ramifications and possibilities, and we're still working on that. We are really trying to take that as an opportunity for a creative process of asking ourselves, what do we want that space to look like? What purposes do we want it to serve? And so we are very open to ideas. So if you have a thought about some new way that we could rethink and recreate that space so that it serves our mission of transforming lives and inspiring people to make a positive difference in the world, then come to Amber, come to me, come to any board member, and we'll put it in the pot and see what we come up with, what Spirit leads us to. We've also been focusing on membership. getting that kind of kickstarting our membership process again that went rather dormant through the pandemic. We've been working on bylaws amendments, and then preparation for the annual meeting next week. So, speaking of the annual meeting, as Amber said, it's next week at 11:30. I wanted everyone to know whether you're a member or not, you're welcome to attend. Our bylaws state that only members are allowed to speak and only governing members to vote at that. But we would invite everybody, if you're interested in just coming and seeing really the whole picture of what's going on here at Unity. Let's see here. We will have childcare available for that. Although if you have children here, please bring a snack for them that you can give them right after church so that they don't suffer. Let's see here. So at this meeting, we'll be doing a number of things. We'll be celebrating our accomplishments and acknowledging the challenges we've had over this past year. We'll be doing our board elections. We have 4 wonderful candidates for 3 positions, so we will be voting by ballot. There will be 3 ways to vote. If you're a governing member, you're here in person, then you'll be able to vote with a ballot during the meeting. If you are on Zoom and a governing member, then if you're comfortable using chat, you can vote that way, but it won't be anonymous, of course, because there's no way to vote or to enter chat anonymously. And then if you're wanting to vote but not wanting to be present at the meeting because of proximity and COVID, then, or for whatever reason, then you can vote at the front door during the service between 10:15 and 11. So there are those 3 ways for governing members to vote. We want to make sure everyone has a voice. Let's see. So we'll be doing that process, and then there will be a discussion and a vote on the proposed bylaws amendments that all the governing members should have received in the email by this time. Just ask you to really take a look at that carefully, and so we don't need to spend a great deal of time going over it in detail at the meeting. That will allow us time to actually have discussion about it. So, as Amber said, there is a lot going on now. I just wanted to mention about the living room conversation that's going to be happening. I've done this process both with adults and with youth online, and it's a wonderful small group discussion process where everybody joins together and then you're broken down into small groups to discuss certain questions. They're not really specifically unity related, but I think that the focus is on spiritual renewal. And so it's a wonderful time to get to know each other more deeply and just to maybe get clearer on some of your own thoughts about things as well. So I really invite you to do that. Thank you.
I am light, I am light, I am light, I am light. I am not the things my family did, I am not the voices in my head, I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. I am light. And I am light. I am light. I am not mistakes that I haven't made, or any of the things that cause me pain. I am not the pieces of the dream I left inside. I am light. the color of my eyes. I am not the skin on the outside. I am not my age, I'm not my race. My soul inside is all light. I'm light. And I am light. I am divinity divine. I am God on the inside. I am a star, a piece of it all. I am light. I am light. Oh, I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light. Oh.
Good morning, everyone. Happy to be here and happy to see all of you and those of you live streaming from home as well. The message I'm sharing today is centered around how the darkness helps our light shine brighter. As spiritual beings, we naturally seek light as our way to divine wholeness, right? So you might be wondering why, especially in the month of love, why I chose to talk about darkness. And it was inspired by this quote from Carl Jung. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making darkness conscious. I want to say that again. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making darkness conscious. I remember when I intentionally began my spiritual path about 18 years ago, that I wanted to see only the good in everything. I was becoming very aware of my divine nature, and I tried to convince myself that if I saw anything as negative or bad or dark, that I wasn't being divine. I would try to spiritually bypass my very real human feelings whenever they felt too heavy or too dark. I don't need to feel angry. That doesn't feel loving. I just need to forgive. Even if I'm still hurting, forgiving is the right thing to do. I don't need to feel upset by that. As a spiritual person, I just want to see love and light. And while ultimately we strive to align with that love and light as often and as consistently as we can, we are spiritual beings having a human experience in a third dimensional world. And it is our human experience that we get to learn what darkness has to teach us about returning to love. When we spiritually bypass our human experiences of pain and darkness, our soul knows this, and our divine source of love will continue to put in front of us what we have been unwilling to truly face. If you're not familiar with the term spiritually bypassing, I really like the definition from Dr. Robert Masters, and he describes it as this. Spiritual bypassing happens when we use spiritual practices to avoid dealing with painful emotions, unhealed wounds, and developmental needs. And in my own words, when we avoid or deny our painful emotions and unhealed wounds, we unintentionally and very ironically continue to feed a pattern of the very pain that we are trying so hard to avoid. So rather than deny the existence of pain and darkness, let us embrace what it is here to teach us and use its ability to empower us to make the darkness conscious. The more willing we are to learn from it rather than run from it, the more empowered we will be and feel. So today I'm going to share 2 examples of how we can do this, one being a personal experience in my own individual journey, and the other being a collective human experience in life on earth. And before I do that, I just want to share a quick story from the Mark Nepo Book of Awakening about seeing into the darkness. It's a great intro to what we'll be talking about here. Fear gets its power from our not looking at either the fear or what we're afraid of. Remember that attic or closet door behind which something terrifying waited, and the longer we didn't look, the harder it was to open the door? As a boy, this obsessed me until I would avoid that part of the house. But finally, when no one was home, I felt compelled to face the unknown. I stood before the attic door for the longest time, my heart pounding. It took all my small inner boy strength to open it. I waited at the threshold and nothing happened. I inched my way in and stood in the dark even longer until my breathing slowed. And to my surprise, my eyes grew accustomed to the dark. Pretty soon I was able to explore the old musty boxes and found pictures of my grandfather, the only one in the family that I am like. Seeing those pictures opened me to aspects of my spirit. It seems whatever the door, whatever our fear, be it love or truth or even the prospect of death, we all have this choice again and again, avoiding that part of our house or opening the door and finding out more about ourselves by waiting until what is dark becomes seeable. So my own personal experience of avoiding a part of my house that I was afraid to see, I unintentionally created a lot more pain and darkness, and it took the experience of a deep betrayal before I was finally willing to open the door and face my fears. A few years ago, I went through an experience in which a significant ex-sweetheart and a significant long-term friend decided to pursue their romantic feelings for each other. I wanted to be okay with it at first, and I told myself this. He and I had broken up years ago, and I no longer had romantic feelings for him, so why would I be bothered by this? I asked myself. But my wound of abandonment, dismissal, not feeling valued was triggered hard. And it seemed that the Band-Aid pattern I had created, so I didn't have to look at my wound, had been ripped off. The wound was exposed, and it was time to heal it. All the times I had stuffed down my hurt feelings, all the times I had felt abandoned or dismissed by others, and all the times I now realized I had abandoned myself, were now coming to the surface. The betrayal is what triggered the wound. It was now my job to heal it by loving myself enough to face the darkness. There were other elements too, but for the illustrative purposes of this story, let's just say the whole thing felt extremely painful and heavy. I felt betrayed, sad, hurt, and disappointed. I cried a lot, and I welcomed the tears because I knew deep down that these tears weren't just from the pain of this particular experience. They were also from the unresolved pain that I hadn't yet healed from other times in my life in which I felt dismissed, abandoned, or not valued. A great example of how unresolved pain will continue showing up until we learn what we need to learn from it, and then we're able to heal it. There was so much anger inside me, anger that I never even knew I was capable of feeling, and anger that I had previously attempted to spiritually bypass so I could just get back to love and light without feeling the pain. But this time, I knew, my body knew, my soul knew that I needed to express and release it. And I did, in the privacy of my own home, not directing it at anyone, yelling, cussing, chopping vegetables with a vengeance, punching pillows. I got it out. So much so that I'm guessing the neighbors were wondering what the heck is going on with that woman that is usually so quiet. Anger is a very strong emotion that doesn't feel good, but it's there for a reason, and if we stuff it down or just project it onto the people who triggered us, it won't go away. Giving ourselves permission to acknowledge it, to feel it, and to express it in a healthy way helps us to let go of it. It's impossible to forgive and let go of pain when we're still holding on to anger and resentment. Much like any experience of grief and or relationship conflict, my experience in this situation had many, many layers to it, much like an artichoke needing to get through the layers to get to the heart. Each time a new layer came up, it showed me what I needed to know in order to feel it, process it, let go of what I needed to let go of, and move on to the next layer. And each time that happened, I gained a greater level of clarity of what Spirit was asking me to see in all of this. It was definitely a gift, and it helped me see things that I had protected myself from seeing before. And at this point, I could see on a subconscious level that I had attracted this upset to give me the blessing of another opportunity to work through layers of unresolved pain at a much deeper level. And Spirit knew I was ready for it now. When the unexpected pain came up as strongly as it did, I knew I had to show up for myself and face it. I knew from prior experience that I needed to learn and heal as much as I possibly could so that I wouldn't continue to carry this baggage around. Moving to the other side of this incredibly difficult situation helped me feel empowered. It helped me recognize my inner strength, and it helped me feel Source operate through me and my soul with more ease. We all know the experience of pain within our relationships, and I'm sharing this very personal story with you because none of us is alone in this. We certainly can't pretend to understand exactly what other people are going through, but we all understand what it feels like to be hurt by people we love, and it never feels good. It can bring up a lot of darkness. Our normal reaction is to stuff it down and throw up our walls of protection around our hearts so we don't have to feel any more pain. But when we build those walls, we unintentionally keep the pain and darkness in and block the love and light out. Relationship conflict will cause pain, frustration, and resistance, but it's a part of life and it cannot be avoided. It can, however, be acknowledged and appreciated for what it brings to us. The trials and tribulations in our lives are here for a reason. I heard Amber say last week that something to the effect of no relationship is a mistake or a failure, not one. And I agree. They give us an opportunity to learn from our pain and mistakes, improve our emotional awareness, intelligence, and maturity, and use that awareness to make new and improved choices for a new and improved life experience. Some lessons are quick and take a minimal amount of effort to learn, such as when we touch something hot, it burns, so we don't touch things that are hot anymore. Other lessons take a lot longer to learn, and we end up getting burned many times before we finally face and move away from the source of pain. Whether that source of pain is unhealthy relationships, unfulfilling jobs, bad habits, whatever it may be, we always have the freedom to face the fear of pain and transform those experiences into something greater. The second example I'd like to share is about the collective experience of a world divided by COVID and politics. This part will be short, and I won't be sharing any of my personal opinions about COVID or politics. Because if we step back and look at all of this from a higher perspective, it really has nothing to do with COVID or politics. Personally, I believe this whole experience is Spirit giving us an opportunity to shine light in the darkness, an opportunity to transform a very unhealthy situation into something healthy. When we're judging, dismissing, shaming, or spewing anger about someone else's opinions or choices that don't align with ours, we get to look within and see what choices we may still be making in our own lives that don't align with our soul's guidance or who we really want to be. Because I'm pretty sure that our souls are not guiding us to be more divided and separated or to more fear and darkness. When we feel this division or separation close to home in a personal relationship with a family member, a friend, or a sweetheart, when conflict arises, we have an opportunity to shine light and to take a healthy approach to expressing our differences while still accepting and respecting the others. We learn in this process who we really want to stay in a relationship with, rather than simply going through the motions of staying in relationships that don't feel healthy. Healthy relationships are what fuel love in our world. And this may be one of the most important opportunities ever to face the fear, come out of the shadows of darkness, and to learn what darkness is here to teach us about returning to love. I'm going to close this part out with a quote from Gabrielle Bernstein, who said, "You don't have to fear your fear. You can use it as a way to get closer to love." And I'm going to guide us through a short meditation exercise inspired by Debbie Ford's book, The Dark Side of the Light Chasers. Such a great title, such a great book. If you haven't yet read this book, I highly recommend it. It just taught me so much about our shadow self, that part within us that we don't really like, that we don't want to be, but we get to learn from it. And when we accept all the parts of ourselves, even the parts we don't like, it does return us to that wholeness. I'll be reading the guided meditation directly from the book, but I'm not going to read the entire thing because this type of work does require some time and some focus and some contemplation. My intention today is just to plant some seeds and to share a resource to help you face your darkness and shine light on it through your consciousness. And the thing I love about these being recorded is you can always go back and listen to these as well in the privacy of your own home when you have more time. You can go back and listen to it, pause it if you need to, that type of thing. Marianne Williamson said, "As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others." So let the liberation begin. All right, when you're ready, just take a moment to close your eyes. Put your feet firmly planted on the ground. If your legs are crossed or your arms are crossed, if it's uncomfortable, or if it's comfortable for you, please uncross those. Be open and receptive. You may want to put your hand over your heart. You may want to put a hand over your belly so you can feel yourself breathe and really start to tap into that deep breathing. Just take a few deep cleansing breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. Continuing to breathe as you expand on the inhale and as you soften on the exhale. Just focus all your attention on your breath as we continue. This is one of the best ways to quiet your mind. Now, with your eyes shut, imagine yourself walking into an elevator and closing the door. Press one of the buttons in the elevator to go down 7 floors. And imagine you're going down deep into your consciousness. When the doors open, you see a beautiful, sacred garden. Try to clearly visualize everything about it. Notice the trees, the flowers, the birds. What color is the sky? Is it a brilliant, clear blue, or is it laced with clouds? Feel the air's temperature and the wind caressing your cheeks. How are you dressed? Are you wearing something you love? Imagine yourself at your best, looking your most attractive. Take off your shoes and feel the earth beneath your feet. Is it grassy or sandy? Is it dry or moist? Do you see a pathway of stone or marble? Are there waterfalls or statues? Are there any animals? Just take a minute to look around in all directions and notice what else is in your garden. And when you've finished creating your garden, create a sacred meditation seat where you can come to find all the answers you've ever desired. Spend a minute exploring your inner sacred place and make a commitment to visit it often. Continuing to return your attention to your breath, continuing to inhale and expand, and exhaling and softening. Bring yourself to an even deeper state of relaxed awareness. And now I'm going to ask you to ask yourself these questions. And there are several questions here. I'm only going to read a few just to plant some seeds today. And as I said, this may be something you want to take in more and contemplate later when you have more time. The first question I want you to ask yourself is, what am I most afraid of? Or another way to ask that is, what feels dark or heavy in my life? And just sit with that question for a moment. What am I most afraid of? Notice what feelings come up in your body. There is no right or wrong answer. Just trust whatever's coming up. Feel what comes up in your body and know that it's helping you towards your guidance. Second question I would like for you to ask yourself is, what am I most afraid of that someone else will find out about me? What am I most afraid of that someone else will find out about me? Notice what sensations come up in your body with that. Nervousness, anxiety, maybe a little bit of shame. It's all okay. There's nothing wrong with any of it. Just trusting the answers that are coming to you. And the third and final question I want you to ask yourself today is, what am I most afraid of in finding out about myself? Again, notice what comes up, what sensations come up in your body, and just honor those. It may feel uncomfortable, but these are things that are within you that will guide you to your wholeness. So just taking those questions in and allowing the answers to come, whether they come in this moment or at a different time, is a choice to empower yourself and let your light shine through the darkness. I understand it's not fun to face the things that we don't yet love and accept about ourselves, but it is in this love and accepting all the parts of ourselves that we get to return to wholeness. As I say to my clients who are ready and willing to face their pain and do the inner work, thank you for showing up for yourself. You just made the world brighter. Thank you.
Shine so bright, I illuminate the darkness. I am a light. I shine so bright, I illuminate the darkness. There are times when I forget that Spirit lives inside of me. When I drop into that source of love in my heart, I am free, and I am a light. I shine so bright, I illuminate the darkness. I am a light. I shine so bright, I illuminate the darkness. There's a truth that I know deep inside my soul. so bright. I illuminate the darkness. I am a light. I shine so bright. I illuminate the darkness. I am a light. Shine so bright. I illuminate the darkness. I am a light. Shine so bright. I illuminate the darkness. I am a light. Shine so bright. I'm gonna shine my light. I illuminate the darkness. I am a light. I am a light. Shine so bright. I illuminate the darkness. You are a light. You shine so bright. You illuminate the darkness. You are a light. You shine so bright. You illuminate the darkness. And we are a light. We shine so bright.
Thank you. Excuse me, Catherine, thank you so much for those illuminating words. Your questions require a response. So thank you. Looking forward to this week. Unity stands for peace in the presence of conflict, for love in the presence of hatred, for forgiveness in the presence of injury. Unity honors the many names for God, the many paths to God, for we know that there is only one power, one presence, and one life. So whoever you are or wherever you are on your spiritual journey of transformation, you are welcomed here. If you're new to our ministry and feel comfortable raising your hand, we would like to say hello. Typically, we would also offer you a free coffee at the barista, but it's closed right now, so we'll save that for another time. But is anybody new here today? What? Awesome couple. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here today, bringing us your presence and your light. For those of you that are out in YouTube land, if you're watching online and new to our ministry, we also ask that you encourage you to sign up for the newsletter so that we can also tell you more about things that are going on here and also make you aware more about some of the many things that we're doing. You can scan that QR code there and it'll bring up the site. We would also like to connect with you on our social media, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Just search for Unity Spiritual Center Spokane to find us. And thank you again for joining us today. Now we'd like to take a moment and do our greeting. So if you'll all stand and present a socially distanced namaste greeting from your seat, that's fine, but feel free to stand. Thank you. You may be seated. It's now our time to celebrate abundance together as we share our tithes and love offerings. If you would like to give virtually today, you can text your amount to the new text to give number, which is right up there. For those in the sanctuary here, if you would like to give personally, our ushers are going to be coming forward with love offering bags and invite you to hold your offering in your hand. Also, we appreciate those of you that have been faithful in giving monthly, whether you're here or not, or whether we've been here or not. We thank you so much for your consistency and your dedication to serving our ministry. So, would like to offer our love offer blessing, and I would ask you all to join me. I know that my giving blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I give and receive. I give thanks for the abundance that is mine to share.
There is only love. There is only
Dear abundant provider, we thank you for these gifts and for those that have given them. As we send them forward in continued service to our mission of transforming lives and inspiring people to make a positive difference in our world, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. And so it is. Our chaplains today are Al and Cheryl. Al is sitting in and is holding space for us at home, and Cheryl is here. Actually, she's with the kids, and she'll be here right after the kids come in. Otherwise, I'd identify her. But anyways, after the service, after the peace song, Cheryl will be here to pray with you if you have any special prayer needs. If you have anything that you want to submit or that we would submit to Silent Unity and pray elsewhere, there are prayer cards in the backs of the chairs that you can also list or put out any kind of a request that you might have. We do pray for them 30 days here, and then we send them on to Unity where they're prayed for 30 days there as well. We thank you. Those of you online can also submit your prayer needs through our online, and everything's the same. So, all right, kids. Our kids have arrived, so let's welcome them with Walking in the Light.
I'm walking. I am walking in the light, in the light, in the light. I am walking in the light, in the light of God. In the light, 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 in the light of God. I'm walking as the light. I am walking as the light, as the light, as the light. I am walking as the light, as the light of God. As the light, 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 as the light of God.
We're losing them. Here they. We are so blessed to have an amazing. Oh, even more coming. We are so blessed to have an amazing youth ministry here at Unity Spiritual Center. We take a moment to bless all of our young children, our young people, as well as those that are serving in ministry today. So together we say, be the love you are, sing the song you hear, share your joy of life with people far and near. And for ourselves, be the love we are, sing the song we hear, share our joy of life with people far and near. And now, kids, you may find the person that you came with. And adults too. Again, thank you all for being here. We'll close out with our prayer of protection in the peace song. But thank you again for being committed to be here and be a part of our service, both here and also online. So, all right, so if you'll all join me together for our closing prayer. Together we affirm, the light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well, and that's the truth.